Hello there, my name's Elle Duffy and this is a look back on my third year of being a bursary student under the Royal Television Society. I've managed to convince the bosses at the Herald that they should keep me around, so I'm now about to start my third year of working in the digital team. I remember when I first heard the word coronavirus. It was the beginning of the year and I said to my colleagues, wow, have you seen this virus that suddenly appeared in China? And as the days and weeks went by, this word crept up more and more. Suddenly it wasn't just in our world news section, it was coming into our national news section and then Scottish as well. We had academics and scientists talking about it, over here all the time. And I remember having another conversation with my colleague. I asked him if he thought it would come over here and if it would affect us. And he said yes, but I wasn't so sure at all. And then we had our first case in Scotland. I was on shift that day and I was ready for it. There had been one or two cases down south, so I had words and a story ready to go and ready to be published. But it really felt absolutely surreal. Case numbers started to rise throughout Scotland, and then we tragically recorded our first death as well. And it was the beginning of what was going to be an absolutely crazy few months, and something that I don't think any of us could ever have anticipated, ever.
We face a very challenging and, in our lifetimes, unprecedented situation. Effectively, Scotland is now in lockdown.
The universities closed their doors, so that put an end to our on-campus learning, which was a surreal experience as a third-year university student. I was in the middle of a really exciting time, actually. I just left university early for a full-time job here at the Herald, but then everything came to kind of a screeching halt. I continued to work full-time, but there wasn't much time to focus on things like contracts and hours. I had to also get over my fear of heights quite quickly, because we moved to online working and working from home, and my office happens to be upstairs in my attic, which was absolutely surreal. Since those first few days, I've spoken to families who've been absolutely broken by this pandemic and neighbours who've come together to help those in need within their communities. I've reported on wives who've had to say goodbye to their husbands through video chat, and school pupils who've had their worlds absolutely turned upside down and back again amid a wave of uncertainty over exams up here in Scotland. In my digital role, however, I have tried to make things a little bit easier for people throughout the course of this crisis. I really like working with numbers and spreadsheets, and so for the last few months I've tried to put that to good use. I've made easy, or what I think is easy, searchable databases for people who want to find out what schools have been closed or where positive cases have been recorded in schools throughout Scotland. As well as that, there's also health board breakdowns that we do get through from the Scottish Government every day, but I've tried my best to make that a little bit easier for our readers to actually search for and to have access to. It seems horrible to say, but these last few months have undoubtedly made me a better journalist. This pandemic's been the biggest story of my life. I'm only 21. There may of course be bigger things to come, but for the moment, this has forced me to develop what has so far been a part-time digital gig into a full-on, full-time reporting role, working with a team who really are making a difference. It's thrown me in at the deep end, and I'm so thankful for people like those in the Royal Television Society who have helped make this transition just a little bit easier. I've had access to a number of resources through being in this bursary scheme, which have helped me through both my studies and my working life. It's amazing to know that I have such a supportive team of people, of industry professionals and other bursary students behind me and ready to help and offer advice when I need it the most. It's my third year now of receiving the bursary, and it's absolutely helped me financially, emotionally, physically throughout the course of this year and the last 3 years.